The Muslim Woman's Handbook by Huda Khattab. Chapter 1. Ibadah, Worship. Introduction. In Islam, religious duties are to be performed by men and women alike. All Muslims, whether male or female, are required to pray 5 times a day, to fast in Ramadan, to pay zakah once a year, and to perform Hajj once in a lifetime. Having said that, however, there are some differences in the ways in which men and women are to go about performing these acts of worship, which sisters need to be aware of. Salah, prayer. Women have to perform the 5 daily prayers except when they are menstruating or during the period of nifas, post-childbirth bleeding. Many women say that they find it too difficult to pray with babies and small children around. But we should persevere. Infant antics are not an acceptable excuse for neglecting prayers, and it is only by seeing their parents pray regularly that children will learn the habit of prayer. It has to be said that the best way to learn prayer is from another Muslim, but it is possible to learn from books or videos. In this case, it is still advisable to check with a knowledgeable Muslim to be sure that the prayer has been learned correctly. Prayer in the masjid. The Islamic recommendation to offer prayers in congregation in the mosque or masjid applies to men only. The Prophet ﷺ advised women to offer their prayers at home in the most secluded corner of the house. Humayd Saida radiallahu anha said, "O Prophet of Allah ﷺ, I desire to offer prayers under your leadership." The Prophet ﷺ said, "I know, but your offering the prayer in a corner of your house is better than your offering it in a closed room. And your offering it in a closed room is better than your offering in the courtyard of your house. And your offering in the courtyard is better than your offering in the neighboring mosque. And your offering in the neighboring mosque is better than your offering in the biggest mosque of the town." And this is reported by Imam Ahmed and Al-Tabarani. Similar hadith in Abu Dawud. The Prophet ﷺ also did not prevent women from attending the mosque, but he did make it clear that prayer at home is better. However, women are not banned from the mosque altogether, despite certain cultural practices among Muslims. If the intention is to pray and learn, then we can go. The Prophet ﷺ told the men not to forbid the women if they wanted to go to the mosque. Do not prohibit the female slaves of Allah from coming to the mosques of Allah. When a wife of one of you asks permission to go to the mosque, she should not be refused this permission. This is reported by Abu Bukhari and Muslim. Do not prevent your women from coming to the mosques, though their houses are better for them. This is reported by Abu Dawud. The clothes we wear in the mosque must also be correct. All the body and hair, except the hands and face, must be covered properly. No makeup or perfume should be worn. We shouldn't make the mistake of thinking that if our dress is traditional Muslim, it will be acceptable. Shawwal kameez, saris, long skirts, and the like are not acceptable if they are tight or low cut or reveal parts of the body such as arms, stomach, or legs. The intention in coming to the mosque should be to worship and to learn, not to show off or draw attention to ourselves. It is interesting to note that women were banned from coming to the mosque by the Caliph Umar radiallahu anha, and even by Aisha herself radiallahu anha. Umar radiallahu anhu imposed this ban because society had deteriorated to such an extent that it was not befitting for women to go out to the mosque, especially at night. The women of Medina, resenting this ban, approached Aisha radiallahu anha, but she backed Umar up, telling them, if the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam knew what Umar knows, he would not have granted you permission to go out to the mosques. Obviously, Muslims today are faced with a society much worse than that of Umar and Aisha. Hence, the ban on women in mosques among some Muslim communities. However, as the Nigerian scholar Abdurrahman Doi points out, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam did grant women permission to attend the mosque, and he suggests that this practice should be revived, subject to the proper conditions of dress, so that women can learn more about Islam and encourage one another.